to start an A1 blueprint that's still open today. It's been open for 22 years. But now I'm proud of this. You know, I'm proud of this. It's
I'm so proud of you too. It's been
I'm
a
just
long
proud
journey.
of this. And the thing about, let me say something about writing. I probably could write more if I didn't start every morning off with like a 2-paragraph little post or something just kind of stretched out. Mm-hmm. If I'd harnessed that, I could put it more into a book, but I just like to write. I don't care if people buys it. I don't care if people reads it. I write for me. I write for me. It awakens my neurons in my brain to write. I love it. And so anyhow, I am proud of this. It was... Everybody's life should be a book at some point.
I think so.
You know?
I think that's one of the amazing things I loved about that series we watched with Ricky Gervais. What was the name of that series?
Yeah, Afterlife.
Afterlife, where they write a... He finally figures it out that everybody deserves to be spotlighted and highlighted, and they just want a chance to be noticed.
Yes.
But with that said, what do you hope people take away from the book?
Because
you address the reader in the book.
Yeah, I actually... I speak to the reader all along this book and try to get them to understand that in this life, we're so similar in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of people make issues about being gay, being straight, being Christian, being atheist, being fat, being skinny, being tall, being short. At our core, there's something about our humanness that we're all so similar. You know, even if you take somebody like me who's on the political thing of just so progressive, and set me down with somebody right here who's just an extreme Trump supporter.
I'm not.
I could sit here with this person. We could bypass both of those and get to our humanness. Yeah. What's human about us?
I do believe in that.
You know, what's human about us? That's to me the humanness about us is I personally. Well, it don't matter what I believe, but I'll say this: everybody has a piece of God in them. Yeah. You can't come into this dimension as a human being and not bring a piece of God with you. It came forth with you. And I think that in this book, I tried to I'm not trying to win nobody over. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm telling a story. It's a writing style that, you know, everybody judges things in different ways. Some people might love it. Some people might not even get the clue of it. The one thing I did do, though, I did have several people before I actually published it to make comments and notes and proofread it and give me their spin. Sammy did, other people did, my friend Dave in Fort Lauderdale did.
Full disclosure, I was also an editor.
Yeah, yes. And so once you write a book, there's an editing process. And my thing is I listen to a lot of other opinions, but I wanted to be I'm not a very educated man. I didn't want the book to come across that wasn't me. One of the things that I enjoy, like, we have a customer, Shauna, that comes in the shop. We have a customer, Kevin. And they'll even tell me, they're like, oh my God, anything you write, when I read it, I hear you in it. I'm like, that's Eddie speaking. Somebody could read it and they say, who wrote that? And they're like, that's Eddie, you know. So I didn't want to lose that. Some of the, you know, when you change one word in a sentence, it can be so powerful the whole sentence changes. I didn't want somebody changing my sentence, you know. Like, well, wouldn't you, this word right here would probably, no.
Oh, we had battles sometimes.
No.
What if you just change this comma right here?
No. To me, when somebody would do that about this book, it would be like if I had a little granddaughter who had blonde hair and somebody came up and said, "What? Don't you think she'd be cuter if you put some red on her hair?" I'm like, no, that's my granddaughter. She's blonde-headed. Don't change the color. So it's a very personal book. Now, it's actually the first time that, in the 15 years that I was a pastor, I think I used that outlet as a creative space to write. But I'd have all these pamphlet books that we'd hand print and staple, and they'd be like 20, 25 pages.
Isn't there a name for that? Are they called tracts? Or is that not tracts?
Well, no, tracts are like little 3x5s and 4x6s, like 10 pages. Or you got to put the little picture of the flame of fire, like, ooh,
clearly I know
flame of
nothing
fire.
about that.
That's Christian tract. Avoid this flame of fire. Mine was my religious kind of doctrinal books was more like one on baptism, why you should be baptized in Jesus' name. One on why you should receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. Why you should, just that. It's you write and you do put your own distortion on it, but you're writing a narrative. It's different when you do something personal, yeah.
I don't know what time you have to.
Well, here's we're going to do this interview, and I'm going to tell you something. Let's get real.
Do you have time for one more question, though?
Yeah, I do. It's 10 to 10 on this morning that we're doing this, and I wanted to get to Chick-fil-A before they quit serving at 10:30. Because I was going to pick me and Savannah up a little chicken biscuit and go to Cabbagetown so we could have breakfast together.
Savannah's his granddaughter.
Savannah's.
So, one last question, because also my focus is on the LGBTQ youth.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you come to terms with your sexuality later in life, if you don't mind talking?
You
go into it in the book, too.
Yeah. Here's my experience. And it's opposite of Sammy's experience. And some of you people that might not know this, Sammy was my best friend for most of my life, and he had family conflicts his whole entire life with him being gay.
It's actually very upsetting to think about.
Yeah. So and there was just conflicts in his life about that issue of his life. Rightly or wrongly, everybody deals with their family, their external family, their friends when they come out. I came out when I was 39 years old after the end of a 20-year marriage. And here's the way I handled it. And I wouldn't tell other people to handle it this way, but this is the way I handled it. I set my mother down. She lived with us at the time in Rex, and I was married to Kathy. I set the two of them down. I told them that I was leaving, that I had unresolved issues of male attraction, that I had questioned my entire life, and I felt like that I was about to turn 40. That was a big deal to me back then. I was turning 40. I said, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to go explore what is this about my sexuality that's lingered throughout my life. And so, at first, Mama just thought I was joking because I'm a jokester, and then I had to convince her, no, Mama, this is serious. And here's the way I handled my coming out: kiss my ass. Once I made up my mind I've told them, the people that was really important to me, everybody else. I know a lot of people. I have a big family, but if I'm being honest, the real people that mattered to me was my wife, my two daughters, my mama. Other than that, Kathy told me, said, if you're leaving, the hardest thing was trying to explain it to my 12-year-old Jill. That was hard. So, but once I explained to Jill, 12 years old, why I was leaving, and got that household at least being honest with them. Mm-hmm. I never hesitated to be honest with anybody else. And my thing is, whether it was my cousin Danny, or whether it was my Aunt Corrine, or whether it was my Uncle Bud, or whether it was they could kiss my ass. I didn't give a shit what they thought. That I live my life for me. I don't give a shit what the church thought. I don't care what your preacher thought. I told the core of my family I'm coming out. And so, and even with Kathy and Mama and Heather and Jill, there was issues and conflicts and all that. My attitude toward them was, I don't give a shit. I'm going to be who I am. If you can't love me and be a part of that, get the fuck away from me. You know, and I'll just won't come around y'all. So I didn't give them the option of like, yeah, you know, like other people I knew who spent years trying to win their mama over, or years trying to win their family over, like, yeah, we accept you, and you know, I don't need nobody to accept me.
I think you and I have similar strategies, and it's not about seeking approval. It's like, you either get on my terms or you get out of my
life. If you're going to be a part of my life, this is who I am. Take it or leave it, but I don't give a shit. Kiss my ass. I'm moving on with my life.
And that is great advice for young LGBTQ.
Because you cannot ever. I've just seen the destruction that it did to other people. Who's like, well, she's old. You know, well, she's religious. Mm-hmm. Well, she's this. No, I would have said, you know. You know, this is probably personal, but I talked to Sammy years ago about his burdens and issues with him dealing with it. And I told him, I said, Sammy, if I was you, why don't you just say, this is who I am, and never go back around them again until they say, okay, we're on your side. Yeah. You're our son. We love you. This is never going to be an issue again. And I did do that. You know, and I had the same arguments with my friend John and his family. It's like, oh, can't let them know about this. Oh, can't let them know about it. We're grown men, you know.
You pay your own bills. You live your own life.
And that's the other thing, too. I feel like as an adult, I don't ask nobody to help me pay my car insurance. I don't have to ask nobody to help me with my mortgage. It's not that I have one. I don't have to get... Nobody does nothing for me. I've always worked and took care of myself. It's my life. If people have an issue with it, shit on you. I don't give a shit. Go on. I don't care. You know, it's not going to impact me because, you know, I have very few people in my life that I really die for anyhow. And once the four of them, Mama and Kathy and Heather and Jill, once they was on board with it, and I'll tell you this. I would have never, if either one of them, Mama, Kathy, Heather, Jill, if either one of them had an issue with it, they could have stayed away. I would never go back around them. I'd cut them off. Before I'm going to be made to feel less than or creepy or dirty or not loved or I need to change, I love myself more than my mama, love myself more than my children. When it comes to that, I'm going to stand for me. And that's part of this book right here. Because once you've let other people almost destroy your life and you realize you're in control of it, I don't give that kind of power to nobody, not even my own children. You know, my children have been great. I love them. I got to go to Chick-fil-A. The Cabbagetown years.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Love you.
All right.